This video is sponsored by Shortboxed, the easiest way to buy and sell graded comic books. Download the app today using the link in the description. It's a rainy day here in North Carolina, but I am on the hunt again. I'm actually going to head out and possibly hit as many as 3 comic shops. And of course, I'm going to take you guys along with me. Thanks to my buddy Google, it was relatively easy for me to identify a cluster of comic shops that I could hit. And not knowing anything about these shops, I set out to see what I could see. And in my traditional format, I decided to visit the shop that was furthest away from my house so that I could then work my way back home as I made subsequent stops. The first stop, all things collectible. This first shop was pretty awesome, and as advertised, they had a lot of collectibles jammed into this place, and definitely in a good way. They had everything from Beanie Babies to sports cards. They had signed celebrity collectibles, Funko Pops, and of course toys. Lots and lots of toys, including first generation He-Man, Transformers, and G.I. Joes. The shop also had comics, albeit ones that I wasn't necessarily interested in. But with that said, I did manage to pick up a couple of books. The first, Miles Morales issue number 21. And the next two are essentially the same. They are issue number 30. This is Miles Morales on a Vespa, which is hard to pass up. And then I also snagged the infamous Pajamas cover. While the first shop didn't have any older books that I was interested in, I had hoped that the second shop would, and so I set out in that pursuit. The second shop turned out to be a little bit of a bust as well. They tended to focus more on modern comics, which wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And I was actually going to head home until I saw a familiar sight from my childhood. Upon further investigation, I realized that I was right across the street from an antique mall. And if you know anything about antique malls, you know that they are filled with all kinds of stuff. And occasionally you can actually find a stall or two that happens to have comics. I sent my wife a message while I was in the mall, and I told her that I was getting that overwhelming feeling that you can get when you are surrounded by lots of stuff. But I persevered and had to get a little help from one of the owners of the antique mall who guided me to 2 different stalls that happened to sell comics. And I spent a little time flipping through what it is that they had on display and managed to score a couple of cool books. Unfortunately, I didn't find anything crazy at the antique mall, but I did manage to score a couple of cool books. The very first book is one that we've highlighted in a previous Blue Ocean spec video, that being Wonder Man issue number 1. And this is an awesome cover. I actually have copies of this in the collection already, but you can't beat something that you find in the wild for like a couple of bucks. The next 2 books are very similar. Both of them are Witchblade books, and both are covers from the incredibly talented Michael Turner. First up, issue number 8 of Witchblade. And again, another really awesome cover. And then the last one is issue number 9. Again, nothing crazy, but a couple of cool books that I managed to find in the wilds. And if you know anything about hunting, part of the thrill of being out there is that you don't know what you're going to find. And that honestly is part of the fun. While I had hoped that I was going to score some crazy books for a couple of bucks, wasn't the case, but I still managed to have a really good afternoon. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, I want to encourage you to go ahead and hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment behind if you're feeling frisky, and if you haven't followed the channel, I want to encourage you to subscribe today. And as always, if you need to reach out to me, feel free to do so on Instagram at Regie Collects. Take care. Before I let you go, I want to give you an opportunity to win a $100 credit from our friends over at Shortboxed simply for leaving behind a substantive comment on this video. I'll randomly be picking one winner in about a week or so from those comments, and the winner will be announced during an upcoming Comics Today show. I will tell you that this is limited to the United States. Good luck.